we all know that people look at their leaders very carefully. And I believe it always starts from the top. So I take full accountability and responsibility on that culture shift personally. I'm Anil Okay. I'm the CEO of Adalvo.
You've been described as the Airbnb of pharma. Can you explain to us how this asset-light approach works?
Sure. We like this comparison, which comes from our asset-light and network-oriented platform. Having said that, our business has evolved tremendously from an asset-light model to a platform that today is the second largest B2B company in our sector. We are aiming to be the leader in our sector very soon, hopefully next year, latest 2028. Our technical and operational expertise is very strong. 70% of our organization are having a technical background. Are there either formulation scientists, development experts, CMC experts, pharmacists? So this is a very technically strong organization. And today we have a development expertise across 30 different technologies, from an oral solid pharmaceutical product to a long-acting injectable, or to a peptide GLP-1 injectable, or a topical dermatology product. So we have a very broad range of technologies. And we are already today supplying into 90 countries our medicines. We dosed last year over 1.3 million patients. I'm really proud of that. And we are launching also every year 15 to 20 new medicines into the market with our global partners. And I'm really also proud to say that up until 2030, we have 60 new medicines to launch. In our sector, we have the largest medicines pipeline to launch into the market. So there is a lot of growth in our business. So by the end of 2030, Adalvo will have nearly 100 products in the markets, above 100 plus countries with 200 customers. So our asset-light approach started, call it like an Airbnb. Today, we're really transforming it to an integrated platform from R&D to a very strong delivery to the customer level.
Adalvo bet big on GLP-1s and peptides already in 2019. Of course, now the market is booming. What did you see back then that is now paying off?
So it was a very risky decision back in 2019. The product category was in the range of $2 billion. Today is $60 billion. Of course, nobody could forecast that will happen. So we had to take a risk. What we have seen is actually three things. First of all, we have seen that the big pharma pipelines were very rich with the peptide developments, and we have seen many pharma companies are actually betting on GLP-1s. We said, okay, that space looks very interesting. We want to be in that space. That's the first decision we made, but there was no proof to it. We just had to make a decision and start spending the R&D dollars. That was one. Secondly, we also like the technical complexity. So it was not a white pill that you can easily develop. There was a technical complexity, and we knew that our customers didn't have these technology capabilities. So it was pretty clear that they had to partner for those products. So that was the second thing we have seen. And the third piece is that the diabetes and obesity weight management space is clearly a big space. And we thought that these treatments can be transformative and affordable medicines will be needed in that space. So based on these three theories, we started to spend the money in 2019. I'm really proud to say that based on this decision back in 2024, we became the first company got a GLP-1 approved in a regulated market. And our second GLP-1 is already in the market today in various countries. So it's a very important space for us, but not GLP-1 alone. We also have 7 other peptides in our portfolio. So we are really going big on peptide space.
You've said before, one of your mottos is the product portfolio is king. How do you decide which molecules, which therapies are worth pursuing and which aren't?
Sure. So we evolved this theme from portfolio king to platform is the king. now we have the richest pipeline in the industry, in the sector. So we have 60 products to launch until 2030. One of the really key parameter for us is to differentiate around the products. So we're always looking for a differentiation. Our differentiation was in the 3 product categories so far. One of it is the value-added medicines. In our top 10 products, we have 3 assets are coming from the value-added medicine segment, where there is a patient benefit that we are offering. And the second pillar is really being first to market and first to file. That's critical for us in our business. We cannot compromise on that. That's the second piece. And the third piece is really the peptides and biosimilars. That segment is highly complex, technically very complex. And these are the 3 differentiations we are offering to our partners. And we continue to make our R&D and portfolio decisions in these 3 areas. At the same time, a product is valuable as much as you can supply that. Therefore, our platform is the king philosophy is coming from that fact that we have taken really bold decisions to put dual source behind our key products to make sure that in the long term we can deliver the products sustainably. You see that there are lots of global crises in the market. Supply chains are stressed across the board. With our asset light model, what we do is putting 2 sources behind our key products. This way we can flex ourselves if any supply disruption happens. So this is our number 1 priority in Adalvo moving forward.
A year ago, the acquisition by EQT was finalized. What does this mean for Adalvo's next phase of growth?
I'm very proud with this transaction. It is a nice feel to have EQT's trust behind the company. They are the largest private equity in Europe. So I'm actually very excited with the partnership with them since July. EQT enables us to accelerate our transition from a portfolio-led company to a fully integrated platform business. And they give us, of course, the capital to scale. That's very important. Our business is already scaled, but we can accelerate further. And secondly, they are helping us with the governance to professionalize our business, and the strategic support to strengthen the operations. So these are the 3 areas are extremely valuable for us. So Adalvo is in a much stronger place today, thanks to EQT coming on board with us.
You're scaling heavily and fast. The company is growing. How do you keep the startup vibe alive?
Yeah, this is obviously my day-to-day challenge, and I have to be personally sharp every day on that very item. I believe that you should not build egos or borders when you grow a business. It's very normal when you become a big company, you start building up certain borders with the market, with the people, with your employees. So every day I have to be a role model. So every day I try to break that border. If an employee writes me an email, I answer that email within the same day. If a customer reaches out to me, I reach out to that customer within the same day. So keeping that spirit from the top, I think, is critically important. If I slow down or if I change my cultural approach to the business because I'm a bigger company today, I think we'll have a big domino effect in the entire organization. So that's more on the behavioral side. We all know that people look at their leaders very carefully, and I believe it always starts from the top. So I take full accountability and responsibility on that culture shift personally. But if I go further, for Adalvo perspective, that means no bureaucracy. We cannot afford bureaucracy in Adalvo. If a decision needs to be made fast, and we have thick skin and all the power to make wrong decisions as well. I believe in that there is no perfect decision. Whatever decision that you do today looks perfect might prove that 2 years later it was another perfect decision. Therefore, we want to be fast, clear, but continue to make decisions without afraid of the outcomes of those decisions. Use of data is critical. In Adalvo, we use a lot of data. We have a data governor in the business. We have our in-house AI department with an AI engineer already. So we use continuously data, and that's, of course, making you smarter. And finally, always being better than yesterday.
Your company is headquartered in Switzerland. Why did you choose this hub for your operations?
Switzerland gives us a competitive edge. It's not only a location for us. We are based in Canton Zug. If you look into statistics, it's actually phenomenal to see that in just Canton Zug alone, you have 80 to 100 pharmaceutical businesses. I mean, there are countries don't have 80 to 100 pharmaceutical companies. So a small village like Zug has nearly 100 pharmaceutical companies. That's an ecosystem we wanted to be in. Well, this is the first reason. And secondly, of course, exceptional talent. When you have all these companies around us in our office location, Rotkreuz, just in this one street of a kilometer, there are 8 pharma companies located. And that really provides a big advantage when you want to recruit the top talent. So this is one. And the second thing is that Switzerland as a country, very strong with the pharmaceutical incentives, the patent regulations and all other governance items, which we are, of course, benefiting. And last but not least, the international credibility and the global connectivity is also very important. All my management meetings are happening here in Zurich, very central. We can get together. And also, most of our contracts are written with the Swiss law, which is also very important. There is a lot of credibility for the Swiss law, like UK law. These are the key reasons for us to be here. But above all, Switzerland really provides us a high quality, high standard operating environment. We can really trust the system here. We're very happy to be here, and we continue to scale in Switzerland, and especially on the C-level, we have really good appointments made already in Switzerland, and we will continue to do that.
I have to assume this is a lot of work. What's your drive? Why do you keep going in this field?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So 2 things really keep me going. The one of them is the purpose in that business. At the end, I'm not selling a drug that costs $1 million for a patient who cannot afford it. I'm in an affordable medicine segment with Adalvo. So any medicine that we develop, reaching to a patient with a certain discount, and patient can afford it through the insurance system, or even some cases out of pocket. We are in an affordable medicines, so we provide affordable medicines to the patients. That's alone as a huge motivation. The second thing, when I wake up in the morning, when I look into my people, I get a lot of energy from the people. When I see someone in my team looking happy, someone in my team is doing the extra mile or growing personally or professionally, that really motivates me a lot. I get a lot of energy from those situations. And going back to Adalvo, I think Adalvo's legacy, I think will be creating a company that is accelerating a medicine delivery to the market. So we are doing it in a very smart way. We are bringing a lot of new medicines to the market by being much more efficient than a classical pharma business model. So if we succeed, the legacy is pretty clear. A platform that just didn't develop products, but redefine how pharmaceutical generic medicines and how pharmaceutical value that is created and delivered globally. So that's, I think, Adalvo's legacy, and reaching hopefully one day to 100 million patients. And I would love to see that moment.